My name is Mike Wagner. I'm with Arri Lighting. We're going to talk about a brand new product at NAB this year, which is the SkyPanel. The SkyPanel is an LED soft light. It's ultra bright, it's fully tunable, and it's got lots of really cool features. So I can give you a quick demo if you'd like. So of course you're able to control the brightness. You can go all the way up to 100%, that's 100%. And you can control the intensity going from, the color temperature going from 2800 all the way up to 10,000 degrees Kelvin. You could also adjust the green magenta point. So there's minus green, there's plus green. And in addition, you could flip it into color mode and get all the pretty party colors that we're used to. And then if you find a color that you like, you could also adjust the saturation of that color. So it's a pretty versatile light when it comes to tunability. You could do all the things that you're used to with our L series, which is an LED Fresnel line that we have as well. In addition, making a soft light, of course, it's really important that we have a large aperture. The aperture of the light is something that helps create that soft beam quality. So we try to make the aperture as large as we can for this kind of a power class. In addition to that, we have these diffusion panels on the front that also help to accomplish that. The great thing about the diffusion panels is that they're also interchangeable. So you could just open the top, pull one out, and put a different diffusion panel in. So this is a standard diffusion panel. We also have a light diffusion panel, an intensifier, and a heavy diffusion panel as well.
Can you talk about the intensifier?
Yeah, so the intensifier, again, is just a panel. We actually have one here. So the intensifier is actually kind of like a prismatic type of material that refocuses some of the light that's spilling out to the sides and pushes it out forward, so you get about 30% more brightness from the intensifier. So it's a really flexible solution. So of course, you could use it on a stand like you see here, kind of as a beauty light or just a regular soft light. You could use it in a space light configuration. So if you want to actually hang it from the ceiling as a space light, or even use a space light silk, stuff that's already out in the industry, you could do that as well. On the back of the fixture, we have a bunch of connectivity. So we have, of course, DMX 5-pin in and through. We have an Ethercon, so like a LAN connection. So if you wanted to do network connectivity like ArtNet, or even do software updates over Ethernet, you could do that as well. We have a USB-A for doing software updates through USB sticks. And then we have a power input that goes to our power supply. So we have an external power supply which allows you to kind of put the power supply wherever you want it. So you can take that extra weight, put it on the ground, put it on a light stand with a special attachment. You can actually clamp it to the light stand stem, or you could put it above on the truss. We even have an attachment for the power supply that could slide right onto the back of the fixture, kind of like a backpack. So if you did want to have all of the weight in one place, you could do that very easily as well. And then we also have a battery input. It's a 4-pin XLR battery input that goes from 23 volts to 36 volts DC. So you could use industry standard batteries, and you could power the S60 at about 50% using industry standard batteries. So that's the S60C version of the SkyPanel. We have another version of the SkyPanel, which is the S60RP. RP stands for remote phosphor. So remote phosphor is, we basically use blue LEDs to excite a panel coated in these phosphors, and then the phosphors get excited by the blue LEDs and they glow. And they glow, depending on which phosphors they use, at different color temperatures. So you're able, with that, you can't tune the light, but you could switch out the panels. So we have a 2700 degree, 32, 43, 56, and 6500 degree panels that you could just kind of easily swap out, just like the diffusers in the S60C. So you can't do plus or minus screen correction, you can't do colors, but you can swap out the panels, and it's about 10% brighter than the C version, and it's less cost as well. Both of these consume about 400 watts of power, but they're both brighter than a 2 kilowatt tungsten soft light. So you're getting a tremendous amount of light out of it. If you're using it in a space light configuration, so if you're actually using the silk, and the silks take up, they absorb a lot of the light, but they also spread it over a very wide area, it's about the same brightness as a 6 kilowatt space light. So all LEDs need some kind of transformer. So you're usually going from mains power, which is, depending on where you live, could be 120 volts, could be 240 volts, right? But you have to take that mains power and transform it into a DC power signal. And so most of them have transformers. Some of them are inside the unit, some of them are external, so you might see other products that have kind of a brick that looks like a computer power supply. It just depends on the wattage. So this being 400 watts, that's a lot of power. So we need somewhat of a larger power supply in order to make that DC power. we have a smaller unit. It's basically half the size of the S60. It's called the S30. So the S30 is half the size, half the power consumption, half the brightness, but it's in a more mobile, easy to move package. Right, so it's got all of the same great features though. You're able to do, with the S30C version, you're able to do full color tunability. You have all of the DMX and connection input on it. You could run it off of a battery at 100% output. You have all that same great features in a smaller package. And we also have a remote phosphor version of the S30 as well. So again, just depending on what project you're doing, what the application is, you can kind of pick the right size and the right version for whatever you're doing.